Welcome to Integrity Inspire, your daily dose of inspiration and motivation, featuring the bright and talented members of the Integrity Marketing Group family. Now, here's your host, Integrity co-founder and CEO, Brian W. Adams.
Hello, everybody. Thanks so much for joining today's Inspire podcast. Man, this is going to be a lot of fun. I'm super excited to have another amazing partner, another incredible woman in leadership here at Integrity that's joining us as the newest Integrity partner. We're so excited to have Lisa Rundle and her firm, Sellyei and Rundle, is joining the Integrity family. They're based in Tucson, Arizona, and for decades they have really focused on serving that local population, especially with their Medicare needs, and have just done so many incredible things. And so, Lisa, we're so excited to have you as the newest Integrity partner. Thank you for being here. It is so much fun to have you.
Thank you so much for having me. It's very exciting for us too. We're very honored to be a part of the Integrity family, and I'm just really sorry that Louis can't be here to join us.
Yeah, I know we're going to get to the reason why he can't be here, because he's got a good reason. So let's start with, I mispronounce everything. So people give me a hard time about this because I grew up in West Texas, and my wife will make fun of me on different things I say. Now my kids start making fun of me on things I say because I say things wrong. But I asked you how to pronounce Sellyei because it's spelled Sellyei. Right?
Yes.
So
a lot of vowels in there.
It is a beautiful name. Tell us, what is the background of Louis' last name?
Well, Louis, it's Hungarian.
Hungarian.
And Louis' great-grandmother came over in 1906 with Louis' grandfather, who was at the time about 6 years old, and a daughter under the age of 1, and came to the United States in search of a better life. So he's a fourth-generation landed immigrant.
Wow, that is amazing.
So very, very cool.
And have you guys been back to Hungary and that area to learn more about that?
Louis been back to Hungary, to Budapest and so forth a few more times than I have. My first trip was last summer when we did a Viking River cruise, but it was a beautiful, beautiful country. And it was really funny. I told my husband, I said, you really do fit in here. you're home with your people, honey. He really, really did. And it was just so amazing to learn about the history and everything else of Budapest and Hungary, and to learn a little bit more about where his family had come from, and actually some of the strife of the country, which probably led to his great-grandmother leaving the country and coming to the United States.
Man.
So, it was really amazing. Cool. It really was.
And you guys were going around Budapest, and how did they pronounce Sellyei?
Well, what was really cool. One of our tour guides was talking to us, and she was looking at our name on a list and was asking us questions, asking Louis. And so we asked her, how do you really pronounce this? Because we were always told that it was pronounced Shelly. So when she pronounced it, it came out Sellyei. And I just kind of looked at her and I said, say that again. And it's like a heavy accent on the Y-E-I. It's like that, almost like German, like hey, like hey there, how are you? So it's Sellyei with an emphasis. So it's kind of different, and I can see where maybe you would get Shelley out of that kind of loosely, the ear hearing one thing, telling somebody else. So
it's a beautiful name. And look, that area of the world is beautiful.
Stunning.
It is stunning. My wife and I were able to go there on a carrier trip a few years ago, and we decided to stay for a couple of days extra. And we'd always wanted to go to Prague. And on the map, Prague's like this far from there. And so we thought we should just drive over to Prague. So you could either fly, and we didn't want to pay for that. You could take a train, or the hotel said, we can get you a car service and we'll just drive you there, because it's not very far. So we get in the car with this guy. He's 6'8". And he is a massive guy. It was literally like a minivan, and didn't speak a word of English. And so he takes us to Prague, and it's this far away, 7-hour drive. And this guy was flying. He was going so fast, like 100 and something kilometers an hour. And he was passing people on the ride. He was just crazy. It was like Robin goes, this is like living in a video game. And we were both sitting in the back. We're both about to get sick. We're both scared to death. But we couldn't tell him slow down because he couldn't understand us. So finally I asked him to stop. And we got out and we did like a Google Translate, like, we're not in a hurry. Like, can you please slow down? And we ended up getting to know this guy. And through Google Translate, we stopped at a place, I don't even know where we were, honestly. It was like, I mean, that used to be Russia, effectively,
Yes,
right?
did.
Our Soviet Union.
Mm-hmm.
So we stopped in some cool little town that we found some pizza. And so we all three sat down because we just didn't realize it was going to be this long of a trip. And so he's 6'8". He was a basketball player for the Hungarian national team at one point.
Wow.
And, you know, I grew up in the 70s and 80s. And you remember all the, you know, Red Dawn and all the Russian type of things. And I was curious to say, how was it growing up? What did you think about America? And it was interesting. He said, I loved America. He said, I always wanted to go to America. I wanted to play basketball in America. And he said, America is the land of opportunity. And it was interesting as we had one of the coolest conversations. It gives me chills today, just hearing him talk about how great America is. And you think about Louis' great-grandmother and the courage in the early 1900s.
Yes.
I mean, there's no airplanes.
No.
You had to get on a boat.
Mm-hmm.
You had to, you know, most of the time you come with nothing.
Yeah.
And to have that courage to say, I'm going to find a better life for my family. And to do that, and look at what you guys have done with that. Isn't that incredible?
Yeah, it is. It really is.
It's beautiful.
It's a beautiful story. It really
Yeah.
is. I love history, and I love family
me
history
too.
and where families come from.
Yeah.
Sellyei is one of the rarest last names. Literally, there's about 75 Sellyei's in the world known right now.
Oh my gosh.
So, yeah, not very many left.
That's incredible. You need to have a Sellyei
Reunion, yeah.
That would be fun. Yeah.
It would be.
We did that. My wife's family all grew up in Germany, and after World War I, her great grandparents, I guess, were all, I think it was 1926, left, got on a boat, came over, and a few years ago, the whole family went back to Germany and went to the little villages. There were two villages, village where he was from and village where she was from, little villages. It was one of the, it's not even my family. Like I'm just like, you know, along for the ride for the German beer. It turned out to be one of my favorite trips ever because we went to this small community and all the family came out. We went to the house that her great-granddad was born in. There's probably 40 or 50 family members that came out. The mayor came. The newspaper took pictures of these Americans that came back, and then we sang songs and drank beer, and it was amazing. And then the next day we went to the great-grandmother's side of the family. It was even cooler. We got to go to the family farm that they were on, and there's just so much depth that if you kind of know where you came from and what they had to overcome. And it was interesting because we went to one house and a lady had a picture up of my wife as a little girl. And it was his niece or something that he would send pictures. And she said, this is a picture that Eugene sent of you when you were a little girl. And Robin was just so moved. It was so cool to see all
That's
that.
amazing.
I know.
The family connection, just meeting people that you wouldn't have normally have ever met, you know, and just the family history and finding it out. It's just, I love things like that. I have huge family trees on Ancestry.com. And Louis actually goes, oh, you went down the rabbit hole, did you?
Yeah, it is like a rabbit hole.
Oh my goodness. You start looking people up and it's hours go by. And he's like, really?
But you know what is interesting? One day, think about this, 100 years from now, somebody's going to be looking up and saying, you know, what about us?
What about us? Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
It is.
I mean, and that's it's hard to imagine, anybody caring. Certainly about me, like anybody really caring, like who is that guy? But it's really about, being able to make a difference. And I'm passionate about, leaving a legacy and all of those different things. Because especially when you find those documents, Oh man, it's crazy.
It's so, and it that whole 6 degrees of separation
It's real.
it almost doesn't apply. It becomes more of a like 2 degrees of separation, 3 degrees of separation
Right.
when you start meeting people. And it's like, wow, you're related to me this way.
Yeah.
And it's all of a sudden a whole different connection when
It's
you're dealing
amazing.
with someone,
It is.
And especially in Southern Arizona. I'm a 5th generation Tucsonian.
Well, not many people. Not many people
not
can
many
say
people
that.
can say that. And
Wow.
so all of a sudden I'll start talking to clients or something like that. And it's like, well, wait a minute. So your aunt's last name was this. And then all of a sudden we're building another connection, like, okay, so we're probably, 3rd cousins twice removed or something ridiculous like that. But it just shortens that whole, we're not separate from each other. We're all very, very
it's so you're bringing up something so important, especially in the world today. I feel like, man, I maybe I'm just getting older and I'm getting more cynical, but it seems like everybody's just closed off in so many different ways, right? But you know what's fun is when you go to on a trip somewhere, and you meet somebody so you're in Budapest and you meet somebody who's from America, and you immediately have a connection. Now, you may be from Tucson, I may be from Dallas, but it's like, oh, yeah, hey, can you believe they eat this over here, or they do this or that? And you connect and you start talking. If you meet somebody from your state, it even gets deeper. If you go,
gets deeper.
It's amazing how the world can shrink so fast when you find those connections.
It is.
But you have to take time to find those connections.
You do. You do.
You got to be intentional about that, for sure.
You really do. But that's the point. That's the fun of traveling.
I agree.
That's the fun of traveling. Meeting new people, making new connections. That at least it is for me.
I agree. Now, the reason Louis can't be here, and one of the passions that you all have, is sailing.
Is sailing.
And you guys have literally sailed all over, and you're a member of one of the funniest things. I'm going to try not to be too funny here.
It's okay. It's pretty funny.
You're a member of the Tucson Yacht Club.
Tucson Sailing Club.
Tucson Sailing Club.
It's okay, yeah.
And you guys are I think Garth Brooks George Strait said something about, I got some oceanfront property in Arizona. If you buy that, I'll throw the Golden Gate in for free or whatever. So there's not water close to you from that side, but you guys are passionate sailors. And,
we are.
And Louis is sailing right now, right?
Louis is sailing right now. Matter of fact, he had an opportunity with a dock mate, again, meeting people when you travel. A lovely gentleman and his wife bought a boat on our dock in San Carlos, where we keep our boat.
And where's San Carlos?
San Carlos is in Mexico,
oh, wow.
About 5 hours south into Mexico from Tucson.
Wow.
And
do you guys drive down there?
Oh, yeah, all the time.
Gosh.
All the time. It's easy. It really is. It's a beautiful drive. It really is.
You're not ever worried. There's a lot of things happening in the news around that.
Yeah, there is, but it's
not there.
It's really a protected safety corridor for tourism and for commercial movement of things from the seaports in Mexico. So it really is a very, very safe trip.
That's good.
I've driven it by myself many, many times.
Wow.
But, just meeting someone really cool on our dock, a Canadian dentist, and he needed to move his boat from the Mediterranean to, actually, he's taking it all the way back to Canada through the inland waterway. That's one of the ideas, but he's bringing it across the Atlantic, of course.
Wow.
So it's always been a bucket list thing of Louis to do a major ocean crossing of that nature. And he currently, as of about an hour ago, is approximately 750 miles out from reaching the destination, which is the British Virgin Islands. They're hoping to make land by next Tuesday and coming into Gorda. And then I will fly to meet him on Thursday for a couple of days and sail an island.
And then will you sail? You'll sail up? Oh, that's
no, I'm not going to sail any farther. We have other commitments. I'm going to probably drag him off the boat because Bill's already asked him to take it on the next leg, which is to Bermuda.
Is Bill with him? The two?
Oh, yeah. So there's 3 men on the boat right now, 3 guys on the boat. So it's been a remarkable journey. Technology today is so incredible that I can look at an app on my phone any time of the day or the night and see exactly where my husband is.
Wow.
Sorry, it's kind of emotional thinking he's out in the middle of the Atlantic.
Wow.
So, saying a prayer every night.
Yeah.
Keep him safe, dear Lord. I know where he is, though.
Wow. Well, listen, I love your heart in that. I can't imagine. I mean, it would be amazing.
And very proud of him.
Oh my gosh! I'm not even sure, but Like, think about how people did that before there was technology. You know,
Exactly.
like
I mean,
just
scary.
think about Columbus. Like just going, they thought he was going to fall off a cliff,
They did.
and just the courage it took. Like Louis got right now, going out and you can't see land for days, and so they've been doing fine. There's no issues.
They've been doing fine. And again, with technology, we have an Iridium Go phone
Yeah.
that bounces off of satellites, so we can
Yeah.
use it anywhere in the world. And he literally calls me every day. And it's just like you and I having this conversation right here.
Amazing.
And it's amazing, as long as there's not a lot of ocean rocking of the boat where the
Yeah.
signal can stay strong. So, I mean, again, I know where he is by an app on my phone, and I can talk to him on the phone every day. Text him, he texts me.
Amazing.
It's amazing.
It's amazing what technology's done. One of the things I love about you is you're always available for people. You're known for being always available. Even when you're on your boat, you use your satellite phone. I understand the clients you'll even follow up with clients on that.
It's been pretty funny over the
That's
years.
amazing.
Some of my clients, the old book, Where's Waldo? It's kind of like, where's Lisa? Where's Louie? And people call, and we've literally been sailing and they hear a motor running and they're like, where are you? And I said, I'm in my boat on the Sea of Cortez right now. And they're like, no, you're not. The specific gentleman that we're referencing here, I knew he had a smartphone. So I took a picture of Louie steering the boat and I turned around and I texted it to him. And he's like, oh my gosh, you really are. And then there was this funny pause. And he's like, this call must be costing you a fortune. It's really not that important. You can call me back when you get home. And I said, you called me because something was bothering you.
That's awesome.
Please let me know what it is. Let me see if I can help you from here. I'll answer the
awesome.
phone wherever I am. So, and I do. And I've had a lot of funny client stories. Been in Florence, and I had a lady call and wanted to set an appointment. She was aging in for Medicare. And I told her, I said, well, I called her and it was like 9 o'clock in the morning. And I said, well, I'm in Florence right now. And can I schedule with you in about 2 weeks when I get home? And she goes, you're in Florence? Well, Tucson, Arizona has a Florence.
Yeah.
And it's actually where the state prison is. And so I said,
what are you in Florence for?
And
why
so
can't you,
she was kind of like hedging it. That like, why are you in Florence? And I said, and she was kind of laughing like, you're in Florence. I said, I'm in Florence, Italy.
Oh my God.
And she said, well, what time is it there? And it was 20 minutes after 12, midnight. She goes, why are you calling me? And I said, because it's after 9 o'clock in the morning, and by Medicare guidelines, I can't call you. You're not a client of mine until after 9 o'clock in the morning. And she's like, absolutely. We can set an appointment when you get home, and thank you.
She'll be a client for life.
She is.
Client for life, yeah.
And so clients will come by and tap people I'm sitting with, on the shoulder and go, just listen to her. Do whatever she tells you to do.
Yeah.
She's been my agent for years. Or they'll stop and they'll share that kind of a funny story with the clients. She does answer the phone wherever she is in the world. And I do. And that's part of the connection of staying connected with our clients, being there when they need us, no matter what the question is. And I always tell them that. I would rather you call me and ask me the question than worry about it. Don't stew about it. Just don't do that.
Why did you get into this business?
There's a long way around that one. My former husband and father-in-law were property and casualty agents, and they really wanted to have our family agency. And at the time, I was enjoying a wonderful career in fine jewelry, working for some of the top jewelry companies or stores in Tucson, and going to school. And my father-in-law announced at dinner one night that we really think you should get your life insurance license, and you need to do this because we're going to, part of the family business. I'm like, I really don't want to do that. I want to finish my degree and go on to law school. Yeah. And they're like, no, we really want you to do this. So I kind of came into this kicking and screaming. I really did. And then through the years, I just found my niche of what I really, really loved. And I went to work for a major Medicare insurance company, and as an in-house sales agent at the end of the 90s. And then I actually became the sales manager for Southern Arizona. And so then I really learned how much I loved working with seniors. Yeah. It's a very unique group of people versus everybody else that I had always been working with, helping plan, do life insurance for young couples and estate planning and all of that. And Louie and I actually met. We were life specialists for major insurance companies for 20 years. So where I was teaching how to sell products to clients, teaching agents how to sell.
Yeah.
And so, and how to sell a life insurance policy, an annuity policy, and then, going out and helping them too. So
Wow.
I've always been in a teaching educational mode through my entire insurance career. But my true passion was Medicare. So when Louie and I started our agency in 2002, I really started to push the focus more toward the Medicare side. And Louie had really never done Medicare, a lot of it. So it was really introducing him to my passion too. And he really became very passionate about it, and he then understood it. And I said, some days are really, really great days, and some days are really, really hard days. And they're hard days because they're emotional days.
Yeah.
Because you have to help people. Then you go into situations where maybe their living conditions aren't the nicest, and things are really bad, and they really, really need help, and they don't know who to turn to.
Yeah.
And he didn't really understand that until a couple of cases that we went out on. And, we had to drive away for a minute and take a breath. We really did.
Sure.
And understand that we've done what we can.
Yeah.
So,
Look, I love
Anyway.
your passion. I love the fact that this isn't just a job. To
No,
you.
it's not just a job.
Really, and that's why we're so excited to be partnering with you. Is the shared passion. I mean, you've gotten to walk around our office today, and you can see the passion. Hopefully, we have in every detail.
Absolutely.
Because
Absolutely.
if we can give more. I mean, you think about navigating waters. There's so many things I could tie together with sailing.
Yeah.
I'm not a sailor, by the way, but sailing and business are so interesting. Sometimes you got to go where the wind blows, and thankfully in this business we've got great tailwinds. You got to course correct. Like if you're going this way and you're not focused on the direction, if you're not careful, if you're going here and it doesn't look like you're off that much, but by the time you get 1,000 miles away, you could be
It's a huge difference.
hundreds of miles apart from where you could be. So you got to always be looking at the right direction. You got to be using technology, which is as we are working together, how do we course correct when you need to? How do you focus on the right tailwinds? How do you look at using technology to better support people and serve even more people together? There's so many analogies together there, but none of that really matters if it's not about the passion of serving others, right?
It really is, especially working the senior market. After training agents for years, working with them, I've actually told some agents that have come into Medicare, you really need to find something else to do.
Yeah.
Because you have to look at it from the standpoint that you're dealing with a select group of people in a community, the elderly.
Yeah.
And for me, it's always been a moral sale. You have to do the right thing for the right reason. Don't ever just write a policy just to write a policy just to get a paycheck. Go find something else to do.
Yeah.
It really is. Louie and I built our agency really on one premise. And that is, and I tell my clients this, is that I will not put you on a Medicare plan that I would not put my family on, my aunts, my uncles, or my father. Okay, so I'm a fifth generation Tucsonian.
Yeah.
So let me just say that right there. I have a lot of aunts and uncles that are on plans. They come to me. So I tell my clients that. I said, I treat you like you're my aunt and uncle. When we're sitting here at the table discussing your Medicare, I'm looking at you and I'm going, Uncle Brian, okay, so let's talk about what's going on this year. How are you feeling? Do we have any changes in medication? But what kind of a plan is going to fit you the best this year? That's how I approach it. And I actually have clients that call me back. It's your crazy Aunt Kathleen, but they take me at my word, and that's how I treat people. Call me if you have a problem. Don't stew on it.
Yeah.
Let me run it up a flagpole somewhere. Let me find an answer. Let me put it to somebody that can help you.
Even if you got to call my satellite phone. Yeah.
Even if you call my satellite phone, it doesn't matter. Well, they don't have that phone number,
know,
but my cell phone works pretty much anywhere in the world.
Look, I think that's why you've been so successful. You built such a great business because people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Zig Ziglar said that, right?
Exactly. That's exactly right.
I'm a huge Zig Ziglar fan, but that is such a true point of, it doesn't matter how smart you are until people know how much you care about them.
Yeah.
And one of the things I've loved about spending time with you is how much you truly care and your heart. If you live by core values, if you have a passion for what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. And,
That's true.
And that's what I'm excited about, what we're doing here at Integrity, and why I'm excited about you and Louie joining us, and how we can come alongside of you and better serve more people. And so
That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
It truly is.
Well, thank you so much. We're so excited to have you as part of the Integrity family, and can't wait to see how many more people we can serve and how much further we can go together.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much. We're very, very excited too. I am, and I look forward to a great future moving forward.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
It really is. Come sailing.
I would. Hey, listen. Yes.
Come sailing.
Yeah, I would love to.
Anytime.
That would be a
excuse
blast. I love your passion and everything you do. You've inspired me this morning. I know that you've also inspired everyone else here. And as you can see, we've got so many incredible partners that we can all learn from, that we can all come together and support even more people and serve more people. I hope everybody has an amazing day, an amazing week. God bless you all. And hopefully you can welcome this entire family to the Integrity family as well, because this is what it's all about. God bless you guys. Take care and have a great day.